Hi everyone, let's discuss about the assessing reading readiness level of learners. So today we are going to deal with the content assessing readiness level of learner, meaning of diagnostic test, types of diagnostic test, methods of diagnosis, construction of diagnostic test and the material used in diagnostic test. Today basically we are going to discuss about the diagnostic test only. It's nothing but the assessing readiness level of learner. It's a type of assessing readiness level of learner. So let's see what is assessing readiness level of learner. Assessing readiness level of learners and find out the errors. Firstly, we construct diagnostic test. A diagnostic test is one kind of educational test. So here, as we all know that the diagnostic test is nothing but we have to find out the problem, then we have to diagnose that particular problem. Like diagnostic test mean to identify the causes of their weakness, of their poor attainment of the student. So we have to identify, as a teacher we have to identify the cause of the student weakness and why the student is not concentrating in the classes, that we have to find and we have to give a remedial to that particular problem. That is called as a diagnostic test. And here, as in assessing reading level, first we have to like this diagnostic test is one kind of educational test which we can use for assessing readiness level of learner. So that's why we are going to discuss about the diagnostic test in this today. Meaning of diagnostic test. A diagnostic test is designed to reveal a specific weakness or failure to learn in some subject of study such as reading or arithmetic. In a diagnostic test, the main interest is the performance on individuals' items or on small groups of highly similar items. In the diagnostic test, score or marks is not assigned for the correct answer, but wrong provide the basis for the cause of his failure. So the main aim of conducting the diagnostic test is nothing but to find out the problem of a children. So that's why we are not giving here marks on a correct answer, but we are identifying the cause behind writing the wrong answer. So in the diagnostic test we will find the problem of our children. Here there are two types of diagnostic test. First is educational diagnostic test and second is clinical diagnostic test. So the educational diagnostic test is nothing but are various types related to different subject or specific level or class or grade. So like the children of a particular class or in a particular subject, if they are facing the problem, then we are doing the diagnostic test. In this test, the teacher will set the question paper, but she will not give the marks on a correct answer, but she used to try the problem behind the wrong answer. The next is clinical diagnostic test. Here also there are several types of diagnostic tests are there. Those who will be related to the hearing, vision and other aspects of the which are related to the clinical diagnostic. So that kind of test will be, that kind of problems will come under the clinical diagnostic test. Otherwise, the education, if they are having any problem related to the education, then it will come under the educational diagnostic test. For example, in the educational diagnostic test, if the child is not understanding properly due to the mother tongue, like the children is having the like mother tongue as the Telugu, and the teacher is instructing him in English, that can be a problem that can be solved. So for solving or to know that problem or behind that, like if the children is unable to say in front of the class, then to the teacher will conduct the diagnostic test, and she can find out the problem and she can give the remedy. Then next, the clinical diagnostic test. If the children is if in the class, if a children is brilliant children is there in the class, but from last some days if he is unable to see on the board and he is unable to understand it properly, then he is having some vision problem, that the teacher will find out and she will diagnose, or she will send him or her to the for the clinical diagnostic test. Then next is methods of diagnosis, the observation method and the testing method. Here there are two methods are there. It's most popular method used for both prognosis as well as for diagnosis. It is used for children because the test cannot be administered on them. It has the subjective method, even then it is most commonly used. So observation, the teacher is always observing the students. So here also the teacher have to observe the children for find out the problem or diagnose the problem of a children. Like if earlier the child used to mingle with the children, but nowadays if the child is not mingling and he is sitting silent, he is not taking actively participation in the class, then teacher have to find out the problem by seeing these symptoms. Then next is testing methods. Then first is clinical testing, which is common, like vision problem, if the child is having the hearing problem. Then psychological testing method. If the children is failed in some examination, then they will take so much tension. Or if they got less marks, then they will having the fear of the parents, or they are having the fear of their friends. The friends will make fun on them. So like that kind of problem, the psychological they can solve this kind of problems by the psychological testing method. Then next is educational testing method. In this, if they are having any problem related to the education, like for example, child is only can read the 2-letter or 3-letter words, they cannot read the 4 or 5-letter words, then the teacher have to diagnose them with the educational testing method. The next is construction of diagnostic test. So how the teacher have to make the diagnostic test for our children. Analysis of the content, minutely, major and minor one. So the teacher have to observe the problem, and the teacher have to observe the analysis the thing minutely, means they have to read it thoroughly. Then next, forming questions on each minor concept. So they have to form the questions according to the context in order of difficulty. Review the last items by the experienced teacher to modify or delete test items if necessary. So after preparing the questions, she have to or he have to show it to the expert or the experienced teacher, those who are having the experience in the particular subject, they have to show them and they have to modify their diagnostic test. Then next is administrating the test. Then she have to give it to the higher authorities. Scoring the test and analysis of the result. She have to conduct the test. After that, she have to give the score and analyze the result. Then next is identification of weakness. After testing, after giving the scores, the teacher have to identify the weakness of our children. Identify the cause of weakness. So she have to also identify the cause why the child is not focusing, such as defective hearing or vision, poor home condition, unsatisfactory relations with classmates or teacher, lack of ability. By the help of interview, questions, and peer information, family, class teacher, doctor, or past records. So the teacher have to the teacher can take the help from the family members also. With the other teachers help also, she can identify the problem of our children, like if they are having the hearing problem or the vision problem, or the condition at their home is not good, or if whether they are having the good relationship with the classmates or not, or with the teacher, or by seeing this, after doing this study on all such things, she can take the help of interview also to diagnose the problem of a child. She can ask the questions with the child, and she can take the help from the friend of that particular child, or with the family members or the class teacher, and she can check the past records also, whether the child is mentally fit or not. That all kind of things she can do. Next is suggest remedial program. So the next is she can suggest the remedial program to the children. Then she can motivate the children. She can give the examples of the others in front of the children, and she can give the moral preaching also. She can teach in a moral way also. The next is materials used in diagnostic. So what kind of materials we can use for the diagnose the children's problem? First is test record, which made by the teacher. Then next is pupils written work, whatever assignments and test paper, composition, all this whatever work the child have done, that can also she used. Then pupils oral work, if the student has taken the participation in the speeches or oral reading or discussion, if she is having video, that also she can see, or she can conduct that oral speech or reading competition or discussion competition also she can conduct in the classroom for diagnosing the diagnostic the test or the pupils problem. Then pupils work habit in class activities, she can observe this by seeing the student in the class, how he or she is with the friends, whether she is independent working or not, what are her or his interest, all such things she can observe in the class. Physical and health record, she can check the her health record or her health record, and family records also she can see whether the children's dental problem is there, or hearing problem is there, or vision problem is there, that also she can check the records. Then guidance and communicate record data, family background, anecdotal references, school activities. So whatever anecdotal registers are maintained, that also she can check whether the children have behaved like that or earlier or not, or she can check the family background, his or her community, all kind of things she can or he can check. And next is interview with pupil, problem or trouble and elimination of misconceptions. So she can interview the pupil, or she can interview the children for knowing the diagnostic test. She can ask some questions to the children related to the problem, to know the particular problem of our children. Parent conference, pupil problems at home, parents interpretation. Like she can call the parents and she can ask them whether the child is good at home, or is she or he is having any kind of problem or not. Like that, parents conference also the teacher can call. The next, self-guidance. She will observe whether the child is independently whether the child is doing the work or not. All such things he or she can diagnose. Then clinical or laboratory aids. So if the child is having clinical problem, then she will send them to the vision test or the any kind of test. If she can find in the child, then she can send them to the clinical diagnostic test.